Hey everyone, another week over, and man, did I get some good reading done this week, which is exactly what I needed after the Three Musketeers. Now this week, I started The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch, which is the first book in the Gentleman Bastard series. And this has easily been one of the most enjoyable reading experiences I've had in a while. Now this was the book I pulled from my TBR jar for May, which adds a little extra excitement because you never fully know what mood you're going to be in when I finally got around to the book. Sometimes a book sits on your TBR for years, and when you finally pick it up, it just doesn't click. And with this one, I was honestly a bit worried about that happening. Now this is one of those fantasy books that gets recommended constantly. If you spend any amount of time on BookTube, Fantasy Reddit, or basically anywhere else online where fantasy readers gather, eventually somebody will recommend The Lies of Locke Lamora. People talk about it like it's one of those modern fantasy classics. And whenever hype reaches that level, I always become a little bit skeptical. Sometimes books become so beloved online that it almost feels impossible for them to live up to the expectations. And I've definitely had experiences where I read a hugely popular novel and came away wondering if I missed something that everyone else saw in it. But this time, I completely get the hype. This book is just fun in the best possible way. Now the story follows Locke Lamora, who is the leader of a criminal gang called the Gentleman Bastards. And they operate in the city of Camor, stealing from the rich through scams and carefully planned cons. And the latest target is one of the wealthiest and most powerful men in the city. And the entire setup for the heist has been incredibly entertaining to follow. And what I really love about the book is that it combines several things I enjoy in fantasy. You have the criminal underworld aspect, which already gives the story a very different feeling compared to the more traditional epic fantasy journey. And then you add the heist elements, the political tension between different factions, the mystery surrounding certain characters, and a constant danger hanging over everything. And there's always this feeling that the entire plan could collapse at any moment. And one of the strongest things about the book so far is definitely the writing style. Scott Lynch writes with a lot of personality. The dialogue is sharp, the descriptions are memorable without feeling overly dense, and the humor lands really well for me. And there are moments that genuinely make me laugh, especially in the conversations between the gentleman bastards themselves. And their group dynamic is probably my favorite part of the book. They feel like actual lifelong friends. The banter, the insults, the loyalty and trust between them all feels natural. And sometimes fantasy books try to create found family dynamics, but it can feel forced. And here it feels believable. You can tell these characters grew up together and survived a lot as well together. And Locke himself is also a really entertaining main character. He's very clever, he's arrogant, reckless, and somehow still very likable despite being a criminal. And a lot of his confidence feels like it's built on barely controlled chaos, which makes every scheme feel risky, even when he seems completely in control. And honestly, that unpredictability makes the book hard to put down. And another thing I'm enjoying is that the book isn't afraid to show how brutal this world can be. Even though there's a lot of humor and charm, there's also a darker edge underneath everything. You constantly get reminded that these characters are living in a dangerous world where violence can erupt very quickly. And that balance between humor, tension, and the darker moments has worked really well for me so far. And I also really like the structure of the novel. The story jumps between the main plot and the present, and flashbacks showing Locke's childhood and how the gentleman bosses were formed. Now normally I'm not always a fan of flashbacks interrupting the main story, but they actually add a lot because they deepen the relationships between the characters. And every flashback makes me just more invested in the group. And the pacing has also surprised me in a good way. The beginning takes some time to introduce the world and the different characters involved, but once things start moving, the story just becomes incredibly addictive. And every chapter seems to reveal another complication or another layer to the situation. And every time I think I understand where things are going, something new happens. And at the moment, I can absolutely see this becoming one of my favorite fantasy books of all time if it sticks the landing. So yeah, a lot of fun. And after I finish this book, I'm planning to start Tempest by Yoshiki Tanaka, which is the 7th book in the Legend of the Galactic Heroes. And this is still probably my favorite ongoing series that I'm currently reading. Every single time I return to that universe, I immediately remember why I love it so much. And what makes Legend of the Galactic Heroes stand out for me is just the scale of everything. The series isn't just telling a military science fiction story, it's exploring politics, history, democracy, and also corruption on a massive scale. And it feels incredibly ambitious. I also love how morally complicated the series is. It doesn't just present simple answers or clear heroes and villains. Different sides have valid arguments. And they have flawed leaders and just conflicting ideals. Which makes the story much more interesting than a straightforward good versus evil conflict. And of course there's the military strategy aspect, which is always incredibly fun to read. The large fleet battles and tactical maneuvers are some of the most exciting parts of the series for me, even though there are a lot of them. And at this point, I already know I'm going to enjoy Tempest, because every book so far has delivered exactly what I expect from the series. It has become one of those reading experiences where I'm just excited to spend more time in that universe and with those characters. So yeah, overall, I would say this was a very successful reading week. I started a fantasy book that completely lived up to the hype, and next I'll be continuing one of my favorite science fiction series of all time. So honestly, I think that's about as good as it gets reading wise. Anyway, that's all I have for this week. Hopefully you had a great week as well. And as always, let me know what you've been reading. And I hope to see you again in the next reading update.